Hello, everyone, and welcome. Lovely to see you today. And what we're going to talk about is what sensory tools or activities can help regulate emotions. This is something we hear so much about all the time. What can we do to help our children, young people, even young adults begin to regulate using some of these tools? So, this week, that's what we're going to talk about. And when I say children, I really mean across ages, because it's your 6-year-old melting down after school, it's your teenager who doesn't want to stand out, or even a young adult who's navigating stress and independence. So, sensory regulation tools aren't just for little ones, they're for all of us. So, let's all join in this. So, if there are any things you can think of just now, that there's one tool or an activity that helps your child or even you to feel calm when emotions are high, just pop it in down below. I know one of the things that I like to do is move around. So I move around a lot and it helps me to regulate. But let's break this down for ages. So we're going to think of a few different things. So this is a purely thinking of some of the strategies that can be used. So for movement-based tools, if we think about the younger person, we're thinking things like trampolines, scooters, heavy work like pushing a basket of toys, helping you maybe put away some of the groceries in the cupboard, or maybe even taking out pots and pans and using them, just that kind of heavy weight. Maybe putting some things in their backpack as they're walking along to add a little bit extra weight, but don't put in too much weight. We're not going to weigh them down. Thinking about teenagers, so what might be more socially acceptable, because at that point we've got all of these other peer pressures coming up. Some teenagers don't notice at all, other ones notice everything and they don't want to look different. But if you've got a young person who needs that movement base to keep them regulated, then think about sports. Think about going out for a run with headphones on, going dancing, gym workouts, or even just pacing around and listening to music. Maybe get involved in things like wall climbing or bouldering. All these different things can be really, really helpful to get that movement base into their bodies. What about the young adults? So it might be things like going to yoga. So you could go to a yoga class, or maybe you like to do something online, or even just doing an exercise class online and doing it in your living room or your bedroom. Weightlifting can be a really good thing because you're getting so much pressure into our bodies, and it's really helpful for the body to feel that weight. Going for those long walks in a beautiful country area, if you can do it, or even just somewhere where you can look up at the buildings, look around you, or active hobbies. And it's thinking about the martial arts. Maybe that's a really great way too. But a kickboxing in there, getting that therapy in there. So ways to build that regulation into every day without it feeling like therapy. So that's some ideas of some of the movement-based tools. And if we think about the touch and the texture-based tools, so for younger children, we're thinking about things like the fidgets, putty, squish balls, or cuddly fabrics. For the teenagers, we're thinking about the more subtle fidgets, like a ring they can maybe spin on their hands, or a hoodie they can pull up and feel that softness on the sleeves. Sometimes even sewing some things into the cuffs or the bits around the bottom, maybe having some fidgets in there. So again, we're making it a little bit more subtle, just popping some things in the pockets. Get that more subtlety in there so that it's much easier to be able to engage in the things that we need to engage into, but that can draw less attention to us. Maybe in a class, maybe our peer group don't even notice us. So thinking even about what can we chew as well, like the chewing gum, maybe some of the dried meats that you get. Maybe if you've got somebody who loves it, this is a Marmite thing, but the licorice, it's got a lot of chew in it. And what about the young adults? So when we're thinking about textures and touch, maybe a weighted blanket that's got that sort of really soft material on it, and it gives us that a deep touch feel. So maybe even stress balls that are kept on a desk, things that we can fidget with, or even textures and clothing. So choices that we can wear to make us feel grounded. Some people love the bobbly kind of feeling of on their clothes. So actually to wearing clothes that make that naturally is really, really helpful. And what about the calming sensory spaces? So for the younger child, we might be thinking about a tent, cushions, and fairy lights. For the teenager, we're maybe thinking about noise cancelling headphones, a playlist that helps shift mood or just permission to retreat to their bedroom without judgment. For the young adult, maybe thinking about building in routines like low light evenings, mindful playlists, or quiet corners at university or work. Breathing in rhythm. So many people say, I'm not doing breath work, it's so boring. But actually, there's other ways of doing that. So thinking about the younger child, so maybe blowing bubbles, having some pinwheels that we can blow, sorry, even thinking about some of the rhythm type things we can do. So maybe some drumming in there, repeating those rhythmic patterns. These can be really calming. For the teenagers, maybe some of the more discreet apps. So maybe we can do some guided breathing. There's a breathe ball, which can be quite fun. Listening to rhythmic beats, getting that body to just move in the rhythm, or even using body-based practices like tapping. All these things we can use. For the young adults, thinking more about the guided meditation apps. Some of the breathwork classes, they might actually be ready to do that kind of stuff. Simply paring down with a deep breath with your morning coffee. Relax those shoulders. It can be so helpful. So remember, what matters is giving tools that feel natural for the age and stage, so you can use them without feeling singled out. So let's have a look at this, and wherever it is that you're, whether it's jumping, fidgeting, retreating, whatever it is, sensory activities help us to feel more in control of our emotions. So if you'd like some more structure and examples, don't forget you can grab your free co-regulation plan. Pop the link in the comments. And thanks for being here today. And we'll see you next Thursday for Talk It Out once more.